Welcome to the first, I gotta read it because I just wrote this and I'm gonna have to memorize it. Welcome to the first episode of Money Is Mayhem, a podcast about the chaos and hope of trying to make it as a creative entrepreneur online. This isn't just a place for advice, it's real-time documentation of my own journey, what's working, what's failing, and the lessons I'm learning along the way. If you're out here trying to turn your creative passion into a sustainable business, you are in the right place. Let's get into it. I'm starting my own solo podcast, which is probably a terrible idea because if you don't know, about 6, 7, 8 months ago, about 7 months ago, I think, we started a podcast called the New Space Podcast, which is doing great. It's a lot of fun. We've got about 32 episodes out right now, I think. It's a lot of work. Make sure you go check it out if you would. That'd be great and super appreciated. That is more alongside artists, producers, engineers in the music industry. This, I'm talking all things business, life, and just development in general. Business kind of being like that center pillar of it. For now, this could change in any direction because I am creatively driven as a human. That's what I like to do, and monetizing that creativity has been a challenge. I've had successes, I've had failures, I've had close calls, I've dropped a ton of balls, I've done a lot of stupid stuff, all right? Episode 1 is the reality of building a creative business online. So if you don't know already, which you probably do, I'm a music producer and engineer, and that's what that's the heart of my passion and creativity. So I sell things like mixing, mastering, beats, sample packs. I don't sell guides, but I give away a bunch of cool guides and stuff. Also, side note, if you would like a cool free guide on mixing, mastering, selling your services as a creative, really in any genre or any industry, a bunch of free sample packs and even free beats, I think. That's all down in the description below. Go check it out, and I'll be super grateful for that, and so will you. I'm excited. I'm ready to boss up and get this podcast going. I got to get this content out there. You got to get this content out there. We're going to start doing it together. We're going to start busting it out, but let's talk about and review and go over the reality of building a creative business online, which is absolutely crucial to the life of a creative. Nothing was more painful than having to work a full-time job. So quickly, my backstory going into this, I already told you I'm a producer, engineer, also a vocalist. I would like to start releasing more music and stuff, but that's besides the point. My backstory is, in a very short version, straight out of high school, I end up having a kid. I end up, in that situation, finding my way in my music's way into the hands of Linkin Park's old management. They fly me and my partner, producer, out to New York. We had a bunch going on. We signed a record deal with them, and then they tried to sign us off to another company. Ended up the whole coronavirus thing. That happened. Boom, boom, boom. Shut down. And at the time, when I was up in New York and around all these big professional people, I realized that like something about their man in the chair aura was so cool to me. Like, that's just the guy that really knows what's going on, the guy that really made the song a hit, the guy that really made the song what it is. So I ended up running into a bunch of engineers. Basically, I ended up falling in love with the studio as opposed to like, it's like you got to pick your side. Are you going to be the artist that's out at the nightclubs, the concerts, out all night? Or are you going to be the studio engineer who's inside the studio still all night? But studio, to me, that's where I wanted to be. And I started really just panicking on how to convert this to income, how to convert this to money. And so one day, actually throwback to like freaking 2017, 2018, I read Gary Vee's book Crushing It, something like that. And he was talking about how in order to get into something, to be able to sell it, you got to give it away for free so people become dependent on your product or your service, and then they want to pay you for it. And so I took that to heart and didn't apply it till all these years later when I'm working a full-time job, and I'm like, I've got a talent, I've got a valuable thing here. I need to turn it into money. So I started reaching out to people, like hundreds of people. Yo, your music's dope. Can I hook you up with a free mix and master? If you like it, we can do further business. Who wouldn't take that? If you like it, you can just take it and leave. If you don't like it, you can leave. And there's no harm, no foul. You just got something free And that's it. That's how I got my first ever client. Once I sold my first mix for $35. Once I did that, I was like, oh, whoa, this works. I just got to upscale times 20 billion. And so that's kind of where I came from. That's why I'm in the situation that I'm in. That's why I'm passionate to talk about this on the craziest, dopest podcast in the world. Money is Mayhem. Let's go. Shirts coming real soon. These shirts are going to be nasty. I'm telling you, nasty work. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking about this. And you also earlier got a little backstory of the podcast's origin, the name. This all happened in the last hour. So this is one, and full circle, I have a really hard time keeping track of what I'm talking about. You'll notice that, but that's the thing. I'm going to get better at it because this whole thing is about me also getting better at the thing I'm talking about, me walking what I'm talking, so on and so forth, updating you guys, keeping you guys in the loop, letting you know strategies that I'm trying, testing out, different things I'm doing. Am I slacking? Am I not? First little segment of this episode is going to be the content creation burden. So you want to sell stuff online, you have to make like it's non-negotiable in today's world. You have to make content around it. That doesn't mean you have to show your face. Showing your face helps. That doesn't mean you have to talk. Talking helps. But it does mean you have to make some kind of content. I'm very aware of that. I'm sure you're very aware of that. But this brings in some like awkwardness. It's really cringy at first. People cringe at you. People still in my family tell me I'm cringy. It sucks because it's like I don't want to make videos really. So I like to do it. I like to provide the value, but the actual functionality and logistics of sitting in front of the camera, pressing record, and all that comes with that after the fact is tough. And, you know, I can't lie. Sometimes I see myself in a video and I literally cringe so hard I cannot physically watch it. But it is what it is. I've got to get out there. I've got to do what it takes to get, you know, myself and my kid taken care of. So should you. So you got to just step out in front of the camera, step out in front of that situation. It's like content is the window to your uniqueness. That's what's going to allow people to see what makes you special, what makes you exciting to them, and are you someone that they like to associate with in the first place? That's huge for people to know and huge to build trust with your potential clientele, potential fan base, whatever it may be you're trying to build this for. So this, like, we know that it's like, oh, you just got to post. Everyone knows that. But I've been doing that. So like on Instagram, let me check real quick. So I've deleted a ton of videos, which also they say never to do. Put yourself out there and I've got 1,775 followers on Instagram. We're going to be keeping track of that together. So the Instagram follower count right now is 1,775. And the YouTube subscriber count is 2,845. So on YouTube, I've posted 136 videos. That's including shorts. So don't freak out over that number. It's still a lot. That's including shorts. And on Instagram, I've got 163 posts. And I've deleted a bunch of stuff, guys. This is crazy to me. Like, to get the return that I've had, the few thousand subscribers, and to be fair, I do sell a decent amount of services. My viewers and demographic is pretty dense. I've done a decent job kind of tracking them down and forcing my followers to be a certain type of people. You'd think that doing that many dang videos, it would be like less worrisome to get out there and post. And recently this little like monster has crept back up in my life where I almost care more now. I'm almost even more scared now. I do know that I'm more brave now. I'm more willing to post anything, whatever, but I'm for some reason getting more scared because I'm getting followers and attention from videos that I almost feel like I faked. And that's that imposter syndrome. Gosh, I got to learn. That's something I'm going to also do is learn how to speak. Learn how to follow a train of thought and speak. But that's pretty much that. Content is the window to your uniqueness. right? But sometimes we blur that window by trying to be too professional, by trying to be too perfect. And that causes us to act in a way that's not really our full uniqueness, which is the thing that we're hiding that's actually going to attract the moth to the flame. It's so difficult because there's nothing you can just do when the camera gets turned on to get rid of that feeling that's kind of just making you tense up. You can kind of be reminded to relax. You can kind of be reminded to be goofy and let loose, but you kind of always end up tensing back up. I've noticed this a few times. The biggest thing here, this all starts and ends. A great piece of content starts with pressing record and ends in pressing post, upload, whatever it may be. Same thing goes with a bad piece of content. You just do it. Come on, Jackson, you just do it. Money is mayhem, money ain't peace. Money is mayhem, money ain't peace. Money is mayhem, money ain't peace. So that's that on content. The content thing has been a huge struggle for me. I've been made a lot of fun of for it. It's made me fairly depressed. I've had a lot of experts comment telling me that I have no idea what I'm doing. I've had a lot of experts comment and tell me I should give up, that I should find something else to do. All this stuff that's really heartbreaking. But at the end of the day, nobody who's truly above you is going to talk to you that way and try and put you down and make you feel bad for just putting in that work to try and become something. So that's kind of the content creation burden that comes along with this. It's reality, man. It's reality. You have to make content. Making content is cringy. All your family members, all your old friends are going to think you're weird. You're going to see them looking at your profile, not saying anything, not following you, just looking. And you've been weird. Weird. I put up quotation marks in case anybody wasn't watching the video. It's tough, but it's okay. And you just fight. You just swim. I really hope I haven't said that 14 times trying to wrap up this point. I do that. I'm starting to watch myself go about this. I do that so that way I can give myself a second to think if there's anything else I need to add without saying, is there anything else I need to say? But that's what I'm trying to go for with this being more of a podcast style edit is I'm just going to try to be more relaxed. I'm trying. You're watching this mess get untangled right now. So next is the mental and emotional battle of this, which we've kind of already touched on. This kind of fuses into the last one with the whole content thing, because content is a purely mental and emotional battle. It's a fight. It's freaking war. That's modern day war that us men have to go through is uploading our little TikToks. The worst thing that I've run into is imposter syndrome. And this is a big deal to me because I kind of feel like I'm the type of dude that will never get rid of it. I'm always comparing myself, not necessarily in all of life, but specifically in my profession. It's really hard not to compare myself to others to, try and get my quick reassurance or just whatever it may be. It's hard, but imposter syndrome is basically where you feel like you're faking it. So I make audio engineering type content, production type content. And so imposter syndrome causes me to feel like I'm a fraud, that I'm fake. It's all a front. I'm faking all of it. It's how I feel a lot of the times that I'm doing all this. And you look around and I've got all this gear around me, all this cool stuff, all these cool connections, networks, all this stuff to constantly remind. I've got more things telling me, yeah, this is it. Keep going, keep going. Than I do things telling me you're not really who you say you are. So that's something good to practice is just weigh them out. What things tell me I need to keep going? What things tell me I am good enough? What things remind me of that? What things trigger me to be inspired and be ambitious? And then do the same thing with what things trigger me to think that I'm not good enough. That's just been the biggest mental issue with myself, has been imposter syndrome. And then also this is nasty and grimy stuff that I'm about to start exposing right now, but I guess screw it. Another issue I have is addictive personality. I'm just gonna say it like it is. Screw it. I literally for over a month, I had been smoking weed every single day, and I hadn't for years. We went to California, and you know what happens in California. blah, blah, blah. I got my hands on some of that stuff, and I was like, whoa, this is great. This is amazing. It was interesting. It was fun there, and then I came back, and I just let my desires just get a hold of me. But I struggle with just all in or all out. If I'm eating junk food, I'm eating a ton of it. If I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the gym hardcore. But if I'm doing the opposite, I'm doing the opposite. You best believe it. So that's kind of just some of the mental and emotional battle that I go through, is that imposter syndrome, a little bit of addiction, addictive personality. I wouldn't say I'm completely addicted to anything other than making music, right? That's just the deep, dark, and grimy. I'm going to be very honest on this podcast and be very straightforward, so that way my journey can be, portrayed in a way that is most realistic to the people listening. Or it's just going to be a huge word salad. There's absolutely no telling. If you have any idea what I'm saying, let me know down below. If you're here for the first video and you're going to be here for the 2,573rd video, let me know down below. I'm going to appreciate you like crazy, crazy madness. Yeah, so I mean, that's it. Perfectionism keeps you from posting. If I could just get XYZ, I'd be happy. If only I was a little bit better, then I could make more videos. If only I was if I looked a little bit better, I could make more videos. No. Just make videos. It sucks, but the fact that so many people are able to make content, it just means the bar gets raised a little bit. It doesn't mean that there's less opportunity. Actually, it does quite literally mean that. Actually, no, it doesn't, because then you can just... Actually, opportunity increases the more people attempt it. Okay, what I just realized is that it actually goes both ways. It creates opportunity and it gets rid of some opportunity, because the bar gets raised. That means less people are able to get to that bar. Yeah. So technically the opportunity increase. It doesn't matter. I'm done talking about that. Next thing. I just saw this on the Think Network channel. Success leaves clues. Make part 2s. Like, dude, that is fire. That is like a freaking riddle from a old horror movie, dude. Yes, sir. But no, that's super cool, because it just makes me reflect on all the projects I've attempted, all the things I've attempted that I just didn't see the results I wanted to, but I saw results and really liked them. Yeah, that's interesting and kind of hard for me to hear, because I have never made part 2s to anything, which I got to do. You got to do. All that being said, I just wanted to come on here, introduce the new podcast, give a little saucy advice, a little saucy talk, a little saucy contemplation, a little bit of that good stuff, you know what I'm saying, about just kind of the reality of building a creative business online, and this is what's going on behind the scenes, how it's affected me, how it's affecting me. Yeah, it's really hard to convince the world of the value that we see in ourselves, but just keep showing up, dude. Just keep going at it. People will start to catch on, and will, like, guaranteed start to hop on the wave. Embrace the journey. Every level has struggles. This is something I like really try to live by. I try to remind myself as often as possible that you'll always miss the old days. Like, the old days, no matter how bad or how good, you'll always think about those days and be like, kind of miss those days. You see the good in what was there. Your mindset is literally everything. I can't tell you, like, today I just woke up and I'm like, I need more. I need to give more for myself, for my family, for the things I care about. And I put out some serious output today, just as far as just brainstorming, communicating, planning, scheduling, all sorts of these great things that need to happen every single day. Took little to no energy to do, were really honestly energy giving, and it just excites me to know that I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm taking care of myself and my soul, because I cannot function in a traditional 9 to 5. And I know a lot of people say that, but like, I 100,000%, every 9 to 5 job I've ever had, I had to leave because of panic attack issues, dude. That's not me, dude. I'm not anxious. I'm not That's not me, dude. That makes me so depressed to think about me having panic attacks, and something would trigger me at these 9 to 5 jobs, and I would the trigger was then there. Now the trigger was never leaving. Anytime I'd run in that situation again, it would just launch me off the deep end. So like a quick example was like reading long lists. So I used to have to like do this like cycle count stuff, inventory, routine inventory check, and I'd have to collect all this information about how many boxes were on the shelf of this, and that, and I'd have to go back over to the counter and read my list of like 100 and something items. And just one day, funny enough, I actually was in a period of my life where I was smoking weed. That stuff is terrible. It's detrimental. So if that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. I used to be a dedicated pothead. Like, I swore by this stuff, and then I don't know what ended up happening. I ended up just trying to quit. I really liked how I felt. I felt alive again, like myself again, like I could see. There wasn't this like haze over my life. Anyhow, back to the story. I would read these long lists, and just one day after like a year and a half of doing this every Tuesday and Thursday, something just snapped, and my voice started to like quiver whenever I would try to read this list. And it was like I had to go through this thing every Tuesday and Thursday. But like it was so bad to the point where I couldn't even talk. Like my heart was literally racing 1,000 miles an hour. It's really just disgusting to think about. And ultimately, it's my fault for my behaviors and kind of how I was like treating life at the time. But that being said, that whole 9 to 5 scenario and me wanting out so bad was like the seed for these panic attacks. Moving on later, I had a different office job. Actually, the first one was not an office job, but this next one was an office job. And I would get called into these meetings, and these rooms were like these perfect rectangular boxes, pure white walls, like a little cold white, definitely not warm. And then the lights were like a little cold too, kind of like hospital lights. I'd get called into these meetings where I'd have to just sit there in this room. It's like super echoey, and there's like no furniture. My boss at the time, like just desk, cup, that's it, computer. And I used to go in there and sit, and then I just wait for it. Boom, out of nowhere, I'm in full fight or flight mode. And that, actually, luckily, the one I'm speaking about right now, I was able to kind of pull myself out of and calm down. But just the thought that there's things out there in the world that can cause me to react in this way out of my control is just sickening. And after that, I kind of just like realized like I can't be in this situation anymore. I gotta get out. So that's circling all the way back around to the beginning of this episode, saying why I'm here, why I do what I do. That's why I have to be an entrepreneur, and that's why I have to take control of my own career. That was fun. First little fun episode of Money Is Mayhem. Hopefully this works out well. What's next? We don't know. You gotta wait and find out. Quick personal note. I don't have it all figured out at all. I think I have some pretty good ideas, and I think I've got some pretty good achievements that I've made. So yeah, that being said, this has been the Money Is Mayhem podcast. I'm Jackson, your host. And it's been a cold morning out there. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.